Alright, I'm gonna have to change these settings on here. So, I hopefully am streaming right now. Let's actually do that right now. Let's change this so that we have the number pad is... Yeah, we don't want number pad stuff. Which is unfortunate. I can probably change that whenever I do these things. When I get to them. Right now I'm using my number pad as my streaming tools. But yeah, let's get back to it. It looks like I am live again, so that works. That's perfect. Let's get rid of all these. Can get rid of this. That's okay. We'll keep that for now. So, I am restarting my Hytale modding streams. I have all of them online still. They're just not listed. So unless I give like a specific link out, they won't be accessible, which is fine because there was some very minor private information on there that I didn't want to show. I mean, it was very, very, very minor stuff, but I just feel like I want to be able to control exactly what I show on here. And as I don't have a second monitor, which is probably the main issue that I'm running into, it's difficult to do that, right? I only want to show exactly what I want to show. And to do that, I'll need a second monitor. Anyway, so yeah, I'm currently live, which is good. Everything seems to be working fine. And today we're going to work on the Hytale terrain generation. Now, if you did join live in the previous video or previous streams, then you'll know what I'm up to. But if not, I will. Actually, let's go back to spawn. I want to figure out exactly how this terrain generation works. Now, we should be. I'm gonna actually close that window so I don't show anything again. Close out my stuff on my browser. That was essentially the private information I was giving away. It's just, you know, browsing history, or just rather the tabs I have open. You know, I just don't want that to be seen. Anyway, but we're working on a lot with the files and how they function, how they work. I figured out, like, before there is a tutorial online, especially with Joe's stuff, the way he's described it, I've been following him, and I realized that before the tutorial he gave, you change the default to show the basic biome here, which is only here, this basic biome. However, I wasn't able to add trees or any kind of prefab. I think it was a little bit difficult to alter. I don't know why it wasn't working. I'm still. Maybe we can figure that out today. I kind of want to not do that right now. I want to do other things because I'm feeling a bit of FOMO, which is unfortunate. I think I personally cannot do this as a living. I'm going to school right now to be a teacher. Hopefully I'll be a teacher in the next school year. I'm also a stay-at-home dad, and so I can't do this full time. And I see people online with a lot of their cool biomes, and I'm like, oh man, these people have figured it out already. Hopefully what they're really doing is they just kind of doing random things without really having figured it out per se. And they just come up with cool stuff. They tweak the numbers enough to find something cool and interesting and put it out there, which would be good. However, a lot of them also seem to have environments, which again is something I don't know how to do. I'm just right now using this plains biome and using this. I'm actually using all of them. So I've been able to figure out, I guess, zones in a way. Not really. I basically in the default JSON, I've just put all these biomes. I realized, like, oh, I can do this. I can change this biome. Before it was just 1, going from -1 to 1 being the basic biome, and so that's why it was only generating that. And then if you put multiple in here, of course it will alternate it. I do not know what these numbers are. Oops. I do not know what these numbers are though. The min and max. I'm assuming they might be some kind of weights, so like how frequently they appear on the map, but I'm unsure. And how big they are. But I can mess with those numbers later. I don't want to experiment too much at the moment. I kind of just want to play around with the terrain this generation for only one biome. So what we're going to do is delete all this. We're going to do the Plains Oak, right? We're going to do this. And then hopefully, so let me change this to Plains Oak as well. We're going to save this. And we're going to hopefully alter this. Yeah, okay. And because I did a viewport, it will only be doing the stuff in the viewport. Yep. All right. See how everything changed in the viewport. So basically any changes I make, it's only going to be in this 7 chunk radius around where I started, around the spawn. Which is good. I might make it a little bit bigger because, as you can see, like there's a few features here that don't pop up that much. Oh, by the way, this is all World Gen V2. This is what I'm going to be working with, what I'm going to be altering, and what I think is important to do for the future. Because, you know, in like a couple months, I'm hoping that World Gen V2 will be just the default state of the game. So maybe I'll do a radius 10 because that did load nicely and quickly. So let's go back to exactly spawn. Then I'm going to, again, create another viewport with a radius of, let's do 10 this time. Which is like, honestly, what, twice as big as a radius 7. Because of how math works, right? A radius 7 is 49 square units. And 10 is 100 square units. So that means you're doubling from 49 to 100. So it's doubling the number of chunks that I'm loading. But it should be pretty quick, and it will give us a better idea of how these biomes will look. Okay, it looks like it started right there, but yeah, like this formation, this cliff formation, I didn't see until now. So that's good. I like being able to see all this. Alright, and then it made this more complete as well. Like, the World Gen V2 it's wonderful. I love it. It really does look nice, and I want to, like, I guess, master this, right? I want to be able to look at these files and understand exactly what they do and how they function, because let's look at one of them right here. Let's look at this one first. This is the Plains One Oak. Alright, we're going to open this one up, and they are big. Like, way bigger than what I have been working with by myself. Like my world gen I only had was this. Of course, though, like maybe this big, like the hill section, and that's it. So the fact that they can take hills, cliffs, little hills, base, and combine them all is just really cool, right? It allows for such customization of how these things form. That I just can't wait to dive into it, understand it better, because what I was working with was good. If I even show it now, basically the most I was able to figure out is how to create cool mountains. Essentially, I only worked with 2 of these. Where are they? They don't even have, oh yeah, right here, the Simplex Noise 2D Density. Right, I only have 2 of these noise maps. And I'm not going to go too much into the details of how these work. I'm hoping that the people who watch already kind of understand noise maps and how they work. But if not, just comment. Speak your mind, and I'll try to help you where I can. I'm not going to be too much of a tutorial here. I'm going to do more of just learning as we go. Right, I want to explore these, figure them out for myself, and hopefully if anyone else learns from it, that'd be great. But right now I'm mostly working for myself, so to speak. I'm just trying to figure this out. And so yeah, I figured out how to essentially splice two noise maps together and make nice looking mountains. But like each one of these has a noise map. Looks like, and this one doesn't. And I'm wondering exactly how this works, because I figured a lot of these, especially the curve map or density, I thought needed a noise map, but it looks like it might not. So what we're going to do today is experiment a lot with this. So basically, I'm going to eliminate everything except for little hills. The little hills, but just by looking at it, I want to first say how I think it's going to work, right? Because this is the best way to experiment scientifically. You read it, you make your observations, which is what I'm going to do here, which is reading and then thinking, and then you have a guess of what's going to happen, right? And then you do the experiment and see if you're right. And then the difference in between your projection and what happens is you're learning. So here we just have the base height density and a curve mapper density. So the curve mapper density is going to take this curve, which is -5 to 13 to 14. It's creating soil here. This is anything above 0 is solid. Anything below 0 is air. So basically it's going to take anything below -5, which I think whatever this base is, I think the bases are set up to be 100 as a default, and I think the World Gen V2 also has that 100 as a default. So it's 100, so -5 is 95, so from 95 to 113 it's having these solid blocks, and then from above that it's making air. So there will be no solid blocks above 114. It's all air. These are small hills, but there's no noise map. So how can it assign these things? Although it does have an imported density from Plains Oak Cliffs. So actually, before we even do our guess here, our experiment by just plugging this in, all I'm going to do is, I probably should actually also make a copy of these. Save as Plains 1 Oak, and then we're going to change this to experiment, right? Just to make sure we don't permanently alter these. I want to, obviously I want to make sure that I don't mess anything up. However, this is not going to be the one that we are doing. So our default now we have to change our default one. Our JSON over here, our Plains 1 Oak, and then our experiment, right? This is the experiment one now. Our default biome, I don't know if I need to change this. Let's actually just find out. Biomes. Except actually it would not change because this is exactly the same file, right? So nothing is going to happen anyway. We'll see after we change something here. We will see if there's any problems that arise. But see how it says Plains 1 Oak Cliffs. This is this one. I'm assuming there should be some of these that are exported, right? It says export as Plains 1 Oak Terrain Field, and then imported density Plains 1 Caves Terrain. So they have their whole caves as well, which is at a file here. So there is no caves here. So that means it's one of these somewhere. Plains 1 Oak Dips. Oak Dips. Where are you importing that? Where are they importing those? Should we go up one? Generative experimental examples, like, can't be deep root gorges or anything like that. I don't think it is. Let's see if there's any that are export as. This is importing again. We're importing there. Plains One Oak Cliffs. It has to be this one here. Like it needs to be that one. So if it might still be doing all these cliff things, right? So let's kind of experiment here first. So let's do the cliffs first. So what we're going to do is delete this right here. Just this connection here. And then we're going to delete this cliff connection. So I need to make sure I remember how to put it back. These go together, which I'm sure I will remember, I hope. All right, and then we're going to put these two together. Okay, so basically we're only going to have cliffs. Let's figure out what the cliffs do though. So the cliffs is going to take a, doing a curve mapper density, we're going to be going from 10 to 30, from 0 to 1. So all solid. So this is all solid here. And then we're going to input it with some noise. Okay, we have two noises here. And we're going to do a mix. I don't have that, you know, I will pull it up on my own phone though, so that way we can't see what's going on here. Although of course, I kind of feel bad that I can't show it here on the stream. I'll figure this out in the future. Hopefully, I'll be able to stream more easily without showing, or only showing the information I want. So let's go to, there is a Hytale mod documentation, I think, or I'll just type in documentation into Google and see what we get. Is it Hytale Hub? I'm not sure. We'll look up Hytale Hub first. And see. No, it's not. Okay. Hytale-docs. No. Hytale documentation. Modding documentation. We'll go with that one first. Hytale modding.dev. I think that's what it is. Hytale modding.dev. Let's look. Is it? Is it? No. However, I do feel like that's really close. Dang, where was this? I wonder if I can find it in my, what's it called? History. Hytale documentation. We'll go back to documentation. Modding documentation. Hytale modding.dev. Let's see. Maybe. Yes, it actually is. It was. I kind of just didn't realize the layout was changed for mobile. But we'll do world gen, not a tutorial. We want technical Hytale generator. Yes. Okay. And then we're going to do density. And we're going to look. No, not density. Oh, it has to be density, but it's only showing a little bit. Okay, it looks like it's just a little slow, this website. Alright. Okay, I see how it's set up here. So we're going to go to mix. Mix. It mixes two inputs. Alright, here's some mix density. It mixes two inputs. How much of each input to use in the mix is gauged by a third input called gauge. So, what does that mean? I'm assuming this is the gauge. I can't really... I'm inside this box here. I can't highlight things, which is a little annoying. I don't know exactly how they can fix that. I hope that maybe you could just click on the blue bar here and it moves everything, while inside I can select. I cannot select things though. Anyway, so this much must be the gauge. Where is less than or equal to 0. Except this is less than or more than 0. Wait, what? Okay, wait. I'm sorry. When the gauge is less than or equal to 0, only density A is used. When it's more than or equal to 1, only density B is used. When the gauge is between 0 and 1, A and B are mixed. Okay. So, because it's between 0 and 1 here, with this curve mapper, it's going to mix the two. How does it mix it? I have no idea. But it's going to mix these two. Sure, we can figure that. We can experiment with that. I would love to actually look at that. And then it's going to normalize it between, or is it from -1 to 1, or moving it from negative 0.15 to 0? Okay, because we're making cliffs, right? We're making cliffs. Oh, here's export cliffs. Okay, so this is just a simplex noise to density. Okay, so in fact, if we do this, all it's going to do is create noise. It's just making noise here for this, but it's making the same noise pattern, and that's probably really important here because we want to make sure that the little hills and the cliffs line up correctly. It produces the same noise map. Okay, got it. So there's that noise map. This is where it's getting the noise map from. So maybe, in fact, we could just probably do little hills without having to look at the cliffs. But we'll still do this. So just to be thorough, just to make sure that we know what we're doing, it's going to negative 0.15 to 0 and negative 0.85 to 1. Okay. So this one is inside this one, right? Because negative 0.15 is less than this, right? It's actually a very small range between negative 0.15 to 0, and this is surrounding that at negative 0.85 to 1. All right. It says cache density. I do not know what that means. Let's look it up. I'm glad that some of this is here already. But I wonder if they even know, because I think this website is mostly done by people in the community, not the devs. Actually, I don't even see it. Yeah, is this cache, right? Cache. Don't see it. Alright, so I don't know what that means with the cache density and the Y override here. So we're normalizing it from there, we're normalizing here, and this is the actual cliffs, I believe. I believe these are the cliffs. So basically what's happening is we're going to make a map. We're going to make a map from Alright. Because this is a noise map as well. We're just going from 0 to 45. This is all solid though, right? I wonder why they did it like this too. 0.3. Oh, this is lower though. This is lower. So generally you go from the ins increase while the outs decrease. That's generally how it's set up from 0 to 1. Because if you invert that, I think it will make the whole world upside down, essentially. I'll just invert the world. So anyway, we got this from 0 to 45. So we should see a regular map, I think, from 0 to 45. It doesn't have any kind... I mean, we're doing a Y override. So this is the first Y override. I see. So we're going to override the Y for these with this map density. I don't know what these numbers mean yet because we're normalizing them. But if we're taking this curve mapper and then we're taking just the Y override, I wonder if that just raises and lowers the Y from negative. Is it going to take this negative? I wonder. I don't know how it works. All right, I'm excited to learn though. In fact, maybe what we want to do is just get rid of this too. Get rid of this Y override. We're just going to look at this this thing first. What is this doing? All right, here we go. Save. Oh, look at that. Okay. Okay, okay. So you have our noise map. And these are the cliffs. So from 0 to 45 here. We need our F7 here. I mean, it's so tiny on my 4K monitor. I wish it would be bigger. I wish you could change this. So from 0, so let's go about right. Oops. We'll do estimates. But this looks to be at almost 100, right? Oh my gosh. All right. I need to decrease my speed here. Yeah, this is at 99 right here. This is 99. It looks like we can go a little bit lower though. I'm not sure what these empty blocks are. Probably just part of the noise map because I think the current terrain just makes soil in the top 3 layers. Anyway, so these empty blocks are probably part of... I don't know actually. I don't know why they're empty. It is weird. Anyway, so we're at 99. Okay, and then this should be 45 up here. This should stop at 45. Where does it go vertical? Right here? Yeah, okay, okay. 45, 143. And this is 144, right? So, yeah, so it goes from 100 to 45, which is right here. This is what we're looking here, 0 to 45. So it did do that. And it did these. It's like, I don't know what the normalizing did though. I don't know what these numbers do. So let's mess them up. Let's change the max, yeah? Change the max to 0.5. Does this now mean it goes to half this height? Does it only go to like 22 now? Let's find out. Oh wait, no, what happened there? Oh, I need to see that again. Alright, we need to go faster. Get up high, get up high. Alright, do it again. So this was 1, right? All the noise got smaller. It's going half the size of this. Okay, that's going half the size of the YZ or XZ. Why is it going XZ? Oh, because it only has a simplex noise, and the simplex noise is only XZ. That's all this does is create a noise map for the XZ plane. It doesn't care about Y. Y is, that's what this does. This does the Y. Of course, of course. So it doesn't change anything about the Y. This is, oh, I don't want to move it. This is the Y. This is the XZ plane. These right here. So this normalizer only affects this thing, and it will adjust the size of these little gaps here. Okay. Okay. So that's, these are the cliffs. These are the cliffs we're making, right? Because they are very steep. Right from here to here is a very short distance, and that shortness is because of what? This right here. right? This XZ, that's right, this normalized density. So changing this will make the cliffs less steep. Am I correct? So let's, but that doesn't, I don't know if that makes sense actually. Because all we're doing really is changing from max from 1 to, this is not moving, right? And then this goes from -1 to, so it's just lowering the minimum just a little bit. But again, let's change this again. Oops, 0.5. Let's see. So we're getting these cliff. We're just getting a noise map. We are effectively changing it from 0 to 45, right? Making sure that those are our Y heights, 0 to 45. So we got 100 to 145, which we saw. And then now we're going to lower this from max from 1 to 1. No, let's lower the minimum, or raise the minimum rather. Let's go to 0.5 and see what happens. Or let's go even more extreme, because I need to see an effect, right? So the more you change it, the more of an effect you'll see. So let's go up really high again before we start this, before we save it. So before, when I lowered this, it made all of them wider, right? From 1 to 0.5. Now from here, I'm again lowering that range. Would also widen up these gaps. Now it's doing something else. It's doing something else. So this is now 114, right? And this is also 145. Okay. So we change this here to negative 0.3. Negative 0.3. Let's go back to 8.5. Do I see any difference in what's happening around here? I'll wait for it to come. There we go. It's widening them up. And it did lower this by a lot. So... Alright, before it even gets to here, right? I don't actually know if it... No, these two things are both inputs. It happens at the same time. So let me just think, though, about this happening step by step, right? We get a noise map. Just some noise map. And this noise map is numbers from -1 to 1. I'm pretty sure. I can actually... Let's actually look it up. Double check. A simplex noise 2D is just... It's just outputting from -1 to 1. Of course, of course, of course. So basically, this is just changing, lowering it from -1 to -0.85, which that negative numbers give us air, right? So it's just saying, give me less air, which is what I did, right? So by changing this to 3.35, I said, or 0.3, I was like, give me even less air. So that's why we got so many solid blocks. That's what happened. Okay. It just made it everything more solid. Got it. But what's this Y override do? I don't even know if that does anything. And the cache, I don't know what the cache does either. Okay. But let's not worry about that because I don't see anything on here. Actually, do we have a Y override on here on the parameters? Y override. Oh, actually there's cache. Oh, okay. We got it. I can find it. Cache. C, override Y, override. Overrides Y coordinate, the input C is input C's. I don't, but I mean, there is no Y here, right? But let's look at the cache. Cache Cache is the input for the current coordinates. The capacity determines how many coordinates can be cached before having to drop the oldest one. A positive integer determines how many coordinates this cache can hold at once. A safe value is 3. Okay. So it just caches this density, but then I'm not quite sure what it does. Okay. Anyway. So let's keep going. So we have our 2D density. We have our curve mapper. It's going from 0 to 45, and it's taking these and giving me that. All right. So why does it have cliffs below that and oh, because everything below this should be air, and everything above this should be solid. I think, yeah, I see. Because wait a second. No. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Because of this right here, right? We're not talking about any of the things. So anything below this or above this, I forget exactly where it is, but so it's 0.3. That is solid, right? We're working with solid numbers, so it's saying anything below this is solid. Anything above this is solid. I feel like if I just reverse these, it's gonna flip this. It'll make this so that these are all solid blocks, and then over here is all air. It's just gonna flip this air gap to this solid gap. Will it flip this though too if I change these? Actually, it didn't do that at all. What just... I need to kind of remember exactly the order in which it creates these effects. Because I think the curve input, it says below this is going to be solid, right? So from base, this is base, so anything below this is going to be solid, right? Did it change back to, by the way? No, it didn't yet. It didn't do it. I must have hit something else. I must have. Oh, I added that. That's why. I don't want to add that yet. I was still figuring one thing out. I forgot that I added the extra cliff button. Okay. Oops. I don't even have my thing open. That's okay. I'm assuming I don't have a chat to talk to anyway. Yep, I don't. Okay, that's fine. So I don't need to worry about that right now. Let's go and flip these again and see what happens. Again, This is saying from base, from the world bottom up to the base, which is 100. So from 0 to 100, 0 to 100. I really should make my own bases. When I start this, my bases are going to be 0 because it's way too confusing. But maybe there's a very good reason for this. I just don't understand it because it just adds another layer of addition, another layer of math that you need to keep track of. But anyway, so from 0 to this 0 here, which is 100, you add 100. This is the base. So from 0 to 100, it's going to be solid. Right? Because positive numbers are solid blocks. Then from 100 to 145, we're slowly, gradually creating air. Because let's get paint up. I need paint. I need a paint. Paint. Okay. I need to see this. Okay. So if we have a noise map, right? So if we have like, we're going from 1 to -1, right? This is a single column. This represents a single column of the world, a single column of blocks. And we're going like 1, and now we're going like 0.9, right? And then 0.7, 0.3, I don't know, 1, and then we're going to go to 0. We're going to go to -0.3, okay, and -0.7 or something like that, right? So this is saying all the way up to 0, we're going to be solid blocks. All the way up to 0, or all the way up to base 100, right? So this is like at the bottom of the world. Bottom of the world is 0. We have our base is at 100. We'll put our 100 here. And then we go to all the way to the top of the world, which is 350, I believe, right now. 350 blocks, 320 blocks. I forget exactly where world height is, but that's world height. So all the way up to base, we're not even going to look at it. We're just going to make it solid. However, now, if it's at 0.3, we're making it solid still. All right, we're making it solid. We're giving this a value, or rather, whatever the noise map gave us, we're making this a solid block. But what? I'm confusing myself. This is a curve mapper, meaning it's telling me this is how you're going to do it, right? You're going to give me 0.3, and it's going to be a linear curve. That's right. This is not the noise density. That's right. It's not a noise density. We're going to be a very linear curve. So from 100 to 0, or rather from 0 to 100, from there to base, we are going to make a linear line from 0 point to 0.3. Okay, we're doing that. We're just going to say this is all there. So we have 1, and so this is going to be a linear curve, meaning it's going to be perfectly proportional every section. So right, so if you have 25, 50, and 75, right, you're going to decrease by the same amount. So that's 0.7 divided into 4 blocks, right? Like 0.15-ish, like 0.16. All right, so we'll just do 0.16. Well, so we're going to decrease linearly. 0.84. You know, I'm not going to do this. It doesn't need to be that exact. Everyone understands what's going on. So we're going to do like 0.6, and then again, linearly going down. We're going to go down to 3 or 4, 4, 6, something like that. Okay. Going down, down, down in the same amount. So this is equal to this, is equal to that, is equal to that. The difference. I didn't make it that way, but that's what it should be. A linear movement. And then from 0 to 45, it's a nice it's going again. So from there to 145, we're gonna, the endpoint here is going to be 0.15. Okay, okay, okay. So from there to there, and then anything above this, again, it's going to go up all the way up to 320. Wait, where is it going? Or is it just a flat line now? I think above here. Oh, this is why it's solid though. This is why we have giant cliffs, because it's telling me this is not air yet. There's no air. It's just solid. It's just a solid cliff. Okay. Okay. And now we get our XZ. Got it. And now we get our XZ map, which is going to give us this noise map. This is what we see here. Okay, this is what we see here. Is our XZ. And it's saying this is how you're going to draw it. So sometimes it's a lot to take in, right? Because you're going from a 2D map, right? And then we need to get a 3D layer from it. So some parts are going to already be at like -1, right? Some of the map will be at -1. Some of it's going to be a +1. Some of it will be at -1. Some is going to be a +1. All right, this is our air area. This is our air. So I can paint it air. Brush. We'll do a marker. Some of it's going to be air. And some of it's going to be dirt. Okay. Immediately, though, we are going to lower the air to 0.85, right? So anything that was a 1, anything that would be like max air, is now going to be only 0.85. Okay. Oh, and also, of course, we have a linear curve. So that means this is going to be perfectly, so they're going to meet in the middle. In the middle, they're going to go from dirt, 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 right in between all of these. Oh, I'm sorry, this needs to be in between, right? It needs to be perfectly proportional between these. So the distance divided by 2, distance divided by 2, between all of these points is going to be that. Then we have air for the rest, so right in between these. Okay. And this is going to be probably all dirt, and this is going to be dirt here, and this is going to be air. That all makes sense now, so we're going to fill that up, right? Okay. But these were, because these are linear lines. When we lower the -1s to 0.8, right? When we lower these to 0.8, I need a brush. No, yes, brush. And this black marker, these are now going to -0.85, right? -0.85. Oh, no, this is 1. This is 1. This is staying 1. These are going to -0.85. Okay, these are going to -0.85. These are going to -0.85. All right. Now, where this was going from 1 to -1, right? This was -1, and the 0 point was right in the middle. Now the 0 point has shifted, right? It's gone closer to over to the -0.85. So this becomes more dirt. That's why all of those shifted over when they did. This becomes more brown. This becomes more brown. This becomes more brown. All of these midpoints just got moved over. Okay. Okay, so all of those holes became smaller. Right. Now also we've added, if without this curve mapper, we would just get immediate vertical shifts, right? Immediate vertical shifts. It would just be all dirt, and then as soon as we hit 0, it would go to all air. Or rather, I think 0 is technically still a solid block, but that doesn't matter. However, now we've added a bit of a curve to it. No, that's not how it works. No, 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 no. I think actually, right? Yeah, I think the curve mapper is what gives us our Y. Because I think what the curve mapper does is that it says at this point, this is now the change between our solid to air, correct? So before it was just going to be all solid to air. Now we're going to mix them. And this is the point at which they're mixing. So at world heights 100, anything at 0.3, anything above that is going to be air, and anything below that is going to be solid. That's what the curve mapper does. I'm going to look that up though, double check it right now. Curve mapper, this is a curve. Curves. Look it up. Curves. It's not going. Curves. Curves. Oh, dang it. Come on. Curves. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They assign the Y value. They give it a Y value. So without them, without these curves, you don't have any Y. So you just have basically what this looks like, right? Right now we have what essentially looks like holes in the ground. But this Y, what this curve mapper does is that it makes it so that you have like, so specifically this one, right? Anything between 100 and 145. So from 100, from here, we'll just say 100 to 145, you're going to now change it. So without that curve mapper, so for anything above 145 is just going to be a solid block still because we didn't assign it to anything. And anything below 100, I don't know why it's just gonna be this. It's just gonna be this, right? Because this is still we're just taking this and moving it to here. So this is where we would have, without this curve mapper, like everything would just be soil or rock or solid. So we have a line, this cutoff point, wherever this 0 point is, we just have a big cliff of rock to air. But now we're saying, instead of doing that, here at 0, anything that might be a 0.3. So like right here, we have a 1 to negative 0.85. So it's, okay. Yeah, it's solid. So it's 3.3. So a little bit over. So let's write this down. Right, we have. Can I? It's too big. It's too fat for its brush. There we go. So this was our 0, but now in the 0.3 is right here. Okay, at world. This is Y. They should really adjust this. This is world height at Y level 100. So at Y level 100 right here. If it's 0.3, if this value is 0.3, and before, actually, so on technically, since I just said that this would be the physical cliff cut off, this would technically be 0. Okay. And then we have like -1 down here, right? And our 1 up here. Because again, there's a line. There's a line from 1 to -0.85. Oh yeah, that's right. This is 0.85 now. Okay. I'm going to draw a line. So from here at 0.3, at world hat 3.3, we're going to make it so that anything above that is now going to be air. Okay. And we're going to do that all the way. We're going to draw a straight line from here to here. This is all dirt now. From there to there until 145. Okay. If 0, wait. So it's going to be 0.15. Wait a second. No, that makes sense. This makes sense because generally the higher we go in world height, the more likely it's going to be air. Except since we haven't defined anything for this area, it's still just going to be a solid block because that, right? 45 to 0.15, 0.3 to 145. This is 145, and it's going to be 0.15 like that. That should make a cliff like this, though, right? Why does it make it like this? If I reverse these, does anything happen? Nothing happens? I swore these would have affected it some way. But they don't. They don't affect it at all. Interesting. Okay. But yeah. All right. So this does make sense though for why we have, all these curves are like essentially perfect straight lines, right? From here to here, because that's how it is. It's a linear line from there to there. This curve right there, boom. Going from 100 to 145. Okay. All right. Well, now if we add cliffs to this part here, this is a big one, right? Now from 10 to 30. From 10 to 30. So like right here to right here-ish. We are going to mix these together. So we're doing 2 different noise maps. We're going to add more noise to this. And we're just going to mix it up. And then we're going to normalize it so that way it goes from -1 to... So we're adding air to this, right? Because the max is going to be 0. We're not talking about solids anymore. The max is going to be 0. And the minimum is going to be -0.15, which is going to be air. So we're going to essentially make these bumpy with air. We're going to be carving away from these lines with air. I hope. Does that happen? Does that happen? Does that happen? Yes, we took away. We took away stuff. We took away stuff and added a bunch of air. I don't think it changed the line though. Yeah, I think this line is still how it should be. But we just kind of added a lot more noise to it. And we took away and added air. If I do this to max of being 0.5, I won't only be taking away stuff, right? I can be adding some solid blocks. So we're going to add a noise map on top of this. Sometimes we're going to be adding blocks. We might get these weird overhangs or other things like this, right? Right? Let's find out. Oh wow, nope, 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 nope. This is way unexpected. Because we didn't add a 3D map, we added a 2D map. It's still going from top to bottom, of course. It didn't add anything to the curve of it's still linear. It's still linear. So it didn't add anything there. It did add a bunch of blocks though. I was correct in that it's adding solid stuff now. Not just air. But it's imposing that on a top-down 2D view. So it can't add overhangs. Like I was thinking it would add an overhang like this, 3D, three-dimensionally, but it can't because it's still just top-down. It's still top-down. That makes sense to me. I don't know why I thought it would add overhangs. Need to see this is learning right here. This is learning. But yeah, so we're carving away again from this by taking away blocks. Okay. Okay. All right, so that's the cliff section. And I think I kind of have an idea of what the cliffs are doing. So let's get rid of that. Let's just do little hills now. Only little hills. Oops. Nope, we want to delete this and add it. Uh-oh, what just happened? Undo. Oh, come on. We want this to go all the way over here. Okay, so this is still getting this Oak Hill Cliffs importing this density. So we're getting the same density map. Okay, the same density map, right? So let's think about this. We are going to get this same 2D density map here, okay? So these are still going to be our low points and our high points. But now, we are going to go all the way from soil to air. And our lowest will be at Y95. And our highest would be at Y14 or Y114. Okay. But we should just get these very small hills. Oops, nope, save here, right? Because we're putting this is the only thing that's going to be spawning is just these hills. This should be a very basic one. You shouldn't see any water, you shouldn't see any physical cliffs. The lowest thing will just be Y95. And the highest will be 14. So here we have, I wish I could have taken, so here we have, yep, 99, so it does go a little bit down. So yeah, we're adding these things here. Okay? Okay. And I think this is the same, right? There's the low point, and there's some high points, low points. This is basically the same map that we got before. But why is it adding these things? What is going on there? Oh, wait. I, for some reason, didn't see this. Yes, there's 3 points here. There's 3 points there. Of course. Of course, there's 3 points. So what it's doing is that from -5 to 13. So from -5 right here, so y95 to all the way to 13, which is right at the edge of these cliffs. Oops, that's 0. I didn't want to hit 0. I want to hit, oh, dropping down. This is 14. Right here, it's going to say, it's going to do all solid, right? All solid? Yeah, these are solid blocks. So from the point down there to up here, everything below y95 is going to be solid, and then we're going to have a curve. We're going to go from 95 up to any points that are 13. They're going to be solid as well, which gives us these little hills. But then here, we're jumping. We're jumping. Big time, all the way up to 14. So the very next Y level, which is the very next Y level, is like a steep curve. So essentially it's going to be like this, right? So we have, so let's do this one now. Let's just undo all this. We're starting new, right? New, control N, don't save. All right. So we're going to have this very nice curve from 95 up to 113, just like we saw. It's going to be, depending, you could have a steep place here if for some reason your noise map generated a massive gap between, between 95, right? So if at 95 it has a value of like 0.2, right? And then right next to it, it does like 0.8. Negative 0.8. Like, this is a massive gap. I don't think it would ever do this because it's still taking a linear regression. It's still extrapolating a linear line from these two. So I don't think it could ever be that noisy. Yes, it could be that noisy if you don't scale it. This is important here too, the scaling. See how it's scaled up 300%. So these 2 points would be much farther apart when you scale it up. Anyway. Okay. Anyway. So we're going from Y level, Y95. I'm gonna make sure I write these Y113, right? And we're gonna have this nice line here. Now, Y14, 114, Y114 is literally right here. It's really, it's right next to it. 114, right? But if we have a block, so let's look at a vertical slice. Can we look at a vertical slice? I mean, it has to be a vertical slice, right? No, because it's 2D map. So we might have, let's look at before we had -1 and 1, right? But sometimes we might have like another -1 close by, another 1 right here, or maybe another 1 right here. It's close. And you're drawing lines from these, right? We're going midpoints here, 0, 0, 0. In fact, let's not worry about that because what we're worried about right here is 0.25, right? So sometimes you might have 0.25. That would be closer to here on this side. 0.25 closer to 1. Okay, 0.25 here. Oh, I can't move. How do I move in paint? I don't know why I drew this so small too. I don't know why. 0.25, right? Now, you're going all the way up to -1. You're getting steep things, right? So anything you have, anything close to this -1 is suddenly going to lift up into the sky. Why do we cut off though? Why is this like several points up? I mean, these have to be at 45, right? This point right here. 172. Where's 172 coming from? Actually, let me see. Do we have a chat? Maybe chat can help me out. No, no chat. Okay. Where's the 172 coming from? Because this is only Little Hills. There's nothing else here. So the Y density override, we might have... Let's try that. If we don't have a Y density override. I don't even know what cache does, so let's just get rid of both. Let's go around these. We are just going to go straight from the imported density plus this. I feel like, oh, all of these now, any point, anything from Y14, or all these sections right here, they are going to just go straight up. Let's see if I'm right. No. Nothing happened. Oh, wait, what? It didn't change. Oh, no, it did. It did. So wait, if nothing changed, why are they doing this Y height override plus this cache density? Nothing changed. Okay. All right, now let's combine the two. All right, so we have our cliffs. We have our little thing, and then we're going to now, of course, delete this one, taking the max between the two. Okay, this is a max now. The cliffs are, all right, we're importing the same noise map. This one, though, as we saw, anytime it will get to Y30, 130. Wait. Oh no. Wait. Oh yeah, this was creating noise. That's right. This was creating noise between the Y10 and Y30. It was just taking away, adding some air blocks. That's right. That's what this was doing. I forgot. Okay, but this is the main cliff. This is the steep cliff that we drew before. This adds a little bit of air to it. And now we're going to take the max between the two, which means if we have, and this is also the same map density though, right? If it's the same density map, then wouldn't that mean, oh, but this is only going to 14. So this is going to create the minimum for it, right? This didn't have a minimum, that's why it went straight down to the ground. This is creating a base at negative 95, so there won't be any point lower than this. This will be what is it? The bottom of this map. but from 0. So right here. So this is like 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. So from here, around these, we're gonna now check which one's bigger. But if it's the same map, what's going to actually happen? How could it be bigger? Because it should be the same. Oh, no, 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 it's not. Because here we're creating a linear map from this. Okay. Gotta back out. Control N, go and save. So here, one map we have from 95 to 113. Like this kind of curve, right? But another one, we are going from 0 to 45, so 100 to 145. We're going to go like that. Okay. But here we're also only outputting solid blocks. I don't think that really matters though, right? I don't think this matters. The max is just going to get whichever Y value is bigger. Yeah. And so this matters though. This matters because here, this is going to be 0 here, and this is going to be 1 here. 1. Oh no, 0.25. 0.25. Okay. So this is not. This is going to be 1. This is going to be 0.25. And this is going to be 0.3. And this is going to be 0.15. Oops, 0.15. Okay. So sometimes this will be bigger. This is a 0.25. You're taking the max, so you're going to go with this one. Here it's 0.3. You're going to take the max. But sometimes, some places, it won't be this, right? You'll have a number bigger than here. So sometimes you'll have this nice curve, and then it will just go straight up. But I can't really predict where. So let's just do this. Save it. See what happens now. Okay. No, it really was. It really was. Just at 113, it always got bigger. Okay, for some reason I was thinking I couldn't predict that, but I could have. So at 113, it just goes straight up. Okay. So basically, this added the little hills. Didn't really add little hills. It was creating more of a base. This is more of what it was doing. That's not what it did. It's called a base. So what is it doing? And now we have hills again. Okay, well, let's see what the hills do now. Go from all hills all the way over here. All right, this is, I'm imagining, going to have more of a yep, okay. So hills, this is like going to be very standard of these rolling hills that you get with your standard 2D noise map and just applying a curve to it. Here we have the oak dips, though. I don't know where that is. Is that on the base, maybe? This is oak dips as well. Where is that export at? I don't know. I don't know where it's getting this. I don't know if it matters too much. I should be able to figure out more of it from here. So it's just doing this noise map. It's going to... Wait, what? From min to max, min to max. or min to min. So it's creating a noise map, but getting rid of all the air blocks, right? Because it's only going to output a number between 0 and 1. Which is all dirt. Okay. Okay, so this is all dirt. And then we're going to do a power density. I don't know what the power density is, though. Let's look at that. Density. Click on that. Density. And then we're going to go down to pow. Pow. The output is the input taken to the power of a given exponent. Okay. Exponent 3. Okay, so we're raising it to the third power. So if we have a number from 0 to 1 and we're raising it to the third power, you're just going to, like, everything shrinks, right? Because on you know, when you do 0.5 times 0.5, you get 0.25. So everything's just going to get massively reduced. Okay. And now you're going to normalize it where 0 goes back to, okay, so first you go get a number between 0 and 1. Then you take the power, which is going to make it so you have pretty steep cliffs. It's like this kind of curve. Like this. That's what it's going to look like. Okay. And then the more powers you take, the steeper this line will get. So it goes like this, to this, to this, to this. Anyway. Okay, so that's that, and then we're going to redo it to 0.5 to 1, which gives us back some air blocks. And then you're going to cache it and do the Y override. I don't know what this step does yet, this cache and Y override. Anyway, now we're going to get a different one. So we have one map, and now we have a separate map. We are going to only talk about air blocks. If you're going to Summit, that has to be this can't work unless there's another with the height optimizations. Yeah, it won't work. It's gonna give us some vertical highs and lows, I think. Even though, yeah, it should give us some vertical highs and lows. Because you're summing it all, right? You're summing these two, which I think could be outside. Yeah, we have our max. Oh, wait. Oh, no. No. It goes from negative 0.5 to 0. And this is negative 0.5 to 0, or 1. And so this doesn't have anything higher, greater than 0, so any positive numbers added will add up max of 1. Right? And then the maximum minimum we can have is negative 0.5, and so 2 of those negative 0.5s will give you negative 0.1, so it should keep it within range. So yeah, let's just see. Save it, pop it up. So, okay. Yep, okay. So give us our hills. But it also gives us these things. These things must be part of overground gradient. Like, are these part of this? It can't be, right? Boulder patches? Is that boulder patch? Pillars. Oak one pillars. This is not part of the generation. Oh gosh, okay. That makes so much more sense now. All right, so if I just get rid of this, can I just get rid of this? If I get rid of these pillars, this is just directly connected to the prop section, right? Yeah, it's connected. It's directly connected to the prop, so I can just add that back. If I do, if I delete this, save this, pillars will disappear, right? Get rid of all these pillars from me. You confused the crap out of me. Yes, you're gone. You're gone. Okay. These pillars are all gone. Boy, you confused me. I thought you were part of World Gen. Oh. I'm glad I understand it though, because those pillars, that was confusing, and now it just clicked. I'm like, oh wait, this doesn't make any sense because this was not doing that, and now this wasn't doing it, so I was confused. This also wasn't doing it. Now I got it. Now I understand. So yeah, this is the normal hills. These boulders are also part of World Gen. Alright, perfect. Alright, things are starting to come together. So when you combine the two, before we combine the two, let's go back to my cliffs again. Let's come back to here. I want to double check this. This will make huge vertical beams, though, right? Yes, it will. Okay. Wish it can go a little bit faster, but this also decreases the lows. You see how these are lower. But that does that. I'm pretty sure when you combine them, though, it wouldn't matter, because I think it's taking a minimum. Oh no, it's taking the minimum. All right, so these will matter. These will be lower than the others. All right. Oh, let's not do the whole thing yet. We're going to just go straight to this. I don't know the height optimizations yet. I want to look at that and try to understand that better too. But here we're going to have rolling hills interrupted by some of these things, because oh wait, we're taking the minimum. We're taking the minimum. Oh wait, no, look at that. Yeah, wait, this is what it added. It added some cliff faces. Yeah, right here. Got it. Oh, I need to see that again. I need to see that again. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna put it closer so I can make sure I understand this better. Alright, so first, let's look at the cliffs again. It's taking the max density between these two things. So you're gonna have very large things. And also, yeah, it's also going to go to the max because of the world height, doesn't matter. And it's gonna build along this edge right here, right? Is it gonna build? It doesn't build along this edge. Yes, it does. It does, right there. Okay. So this is where it gets cut off at, right there. It gets cut off right there because when you take the minimum here, this one, it's gonna be cut off. Right, wait. I was doing from 0 to 45. Yeah, that was, yeah, right here, right? Because you're taking the minimum between these two. So sometimes this will be lower, and then you're gonna hit this kind of cliff. All right, this is, oops, oh, come on. Oh, no. Here. Yeah. Okay, that's what I was looking at. You're taking your hills. This is the hills that I just drew, right? 1 to negative. Oh no, it's not. No. Okay. So this was a different thing. So don't save this. So, but it's still at y of negative 95, and it's going from 1. And it's going to 140. I wonder if I can make this more accurate because I'm going to need to in order to really see how these two overlap to -1, right? So midpoint, we'll try to get the midpoint here because we need to. This is 45 divided by 2 is 22.5. So that's 117-ish. 117 is going to be 0. All right, we're going to have this between these two. Okay. And then the cliff. This is where it matters. We already saw that this added these two together, added a kind of bottom where it hits sometimes wherever this was, because it would do the max, right? And sometimes at some points it would go up straight, right? Okay. And it's taking the max, which means you're always going to, you're never going to bother with this air blocks here. Right, and that's true. When I put this in just now, yeah, you're gonna end up with just these going all the way to world height with solid blocks, because it's not gonna matter when you're taking the max between these two, because this one here is always positive. Okay, okay, got it in your head. And then also here we have the lowest point being some of these down here, which means we could be below 95, but that's at these points. Okay, some of them will be lower. Do we see anything that's lower than this right now? Yeah, like, no, that's on the other side. No, not too many points. Oh yeah, over here we have this point that's lower. This is 99, so yeah, sometimes we go below 100, and that will give us these. And then we have a gentle climb up to 13. And then we take the max, which is almost always going to be, this will be higher. Sometimes. Which is what, do we have any moments of that? Oh, well, we also got rid of some of the points here. That's why we also took away, we're adding some air to this. That's how we got this little interesting curve here. Yeah, okay. Alright, so there's that. And now, we're going to combine it with this curve. Okay? And it's overlaying the same points here. This is the same map. That's why it was really important that we took the same map here. We're inputting... Are we? No. That was only with the cliffs and Little Hills. So this one, we're importing a completely different density map. This is the plain one's oak dips. Okay. Okay. And so this also goes to -5. So our lows will overlap. That's the only part that will overlap. All this stuff right here might change depending on which one is lower between the cliffs and the hills. Okay. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. Alright. But as soon as any of these points is lower than these, which of course it will, it's going to cut this off. All of this is going to get cut off. Sometimes it might be up here, sometimes it might be down here, but at some point around here, it's going to get cut off, and you're going to have this one is going to override because you're taking a mid. That makes sense to me. All right, so we're good. No. This one goes to here. This one goes to here. Essentially, cutting off the top of it by adding in that low grain hill, low frequency, low amplitude hill map, density map. So all these will come tumbling down. But sometimes, like over here, I think, you're going to get that right there. And this one too, right? This is a little bit higher than this one because sometimes these hills can be pretty tall. You're going to get this, right? You're going to have this side, this is a big cliff. Some of these go up high, some of these are a little bit lower, but you'll end up with those cliffs. Okay, good. So what is all this height optimization? And also, what's the base do? let's figure that out. So here we got that. I understand that. What is this base? This base is doing the oak dips, which I don't even know where it's getting that from. But it's getting the oak dips. It's going from -1 to 12. Alright, so this is literally like making sure that nothing goes too far down. Creating that base, because this is going to be between a min and then we're going to go to a max, I think. Whoa, I forget how all this connects, so we're gonna have to figure that out. But yeah, we're just gonna go here. Save this. This should just eliminate everything. It should just create a very nice, easy map. That's it's kind of flat. Yeah. That was easy to understand. Nothing unexpected there. All this cool detail is gone. It's just a nice flat 2D map. I mean, not nice flat 2D map. The noise map is like this. See how we have some low points, some high points. It's just very gentle because the curve right here is very, very tiny from -1 to 12. Including all that. -1 to 12. Very, very easy noise map to make. I don't know the words that are coming out of my mouth. It doesn't make sense to me either. Anyway. Alright, so there we have that. There we have that. Now we're going to do a max between the two. And that makes sense. This makes sense between these two because this is basically just adding a bottom to the layer, so you know for a fact nothing will be lower than this, the -1. So in fact, all that -5, that won't even show up. Why would you even bother then with this -5, I wonder? That won't even show up. Like, your minimum is going to be 99. So let's do this again. It's going to give us a very similar map to what we had before, what we just saw. But like this low right here, that's the lowest it's going to be. But I've got to override it because we have a max now. Like all of this. Where else could it possibly be? Right here? Like this might also be covered up. Yep. Like there was nothing here. So the lowest that we're going to have is 99. 107. 107. Yeah, like I don't understand why it went to -5 now. Like this didn't matter at all. I guess it could. I guess it could. Because you're talking about the steepness of these curves, right? So right now we're basically saying like, all right, let's say we have a cliff and then we have a nice steep curve or a curve like this, right? Or let's go down a little bit steeper. Okay? So this one here, these are supposed to be linear lines. Let's try to go like this. Yeah, like that. Sure. Okay. So you're still getting this steepness here until you hit 99 now, since that raised the bottom, right? So this was 95, and then that was 95 with this -5, right? 95. And then this one, because now it is -1, it's only going to 99, so it's going to cut off here, and it's going to make that be the new minimum. But you still get this curve, right? This curve that is aiming for 95, you still get this. Because otherwise, if you don't do it this way, I think if you do it from 99 instead of 95, you should end up with a less steep curve, like this. And I guess it wanted to be a little bit... I mean, these are such small scale things anyway, because 95 to 99 is not a big deal. But yeah, see, like right here, you do get some dips right here. I feel like this is kind of steep, and the other one would, if you would have started from 99 in the first place, this would not have appeared. This little kind of like crack. All right, anyway. Let's go back to here, and we're good here. That's the base. Okay, base is fine. Got it. Now we have all of this being put into this. But yeah, okay, I gotta look this up because I kind of lost track of how it looked. Alright. We have the base being put into a max, the max being put into another max. Yeah, this is messed up. This doesn't need to happen at all. This does not need to happen at all. We have it literally a max and a max. So this is maybe just a misstep, a typo on their part, because yeah, this is unnecessary. All right, so let's go open. Let's go back to this one, what we're experimenting with. So I'm just gonna take this out. Don't think it needs to be like that. Okay. This is being deleted. This one can be deleted. We're just going to go straight over to this. Okay, like that. Good. Height optimizations now. So we have a base height, and we're going from 0 to 0.1. And we're just immediately changing it to air. So anything above height. Oh, so we're not even allowing things below 100, it looks like. This is because I see this plains caves terrain. So the underground, how the underground is mixing with the overground, above ground things. They need to make sure it kind of, I guess, is smooth. So that's why they're trying to get rid of anything below 100, it looks like. Because you're also taking the mix, you're mixing this not entirely. Oh, this is interesting too, because I remember the mix is taking 3 inputs. It needs a gauge 1, gauge 2, and then, or not a gauge 1, gauge 2, a curve 1, curve 2, and then a gauge, or something like that. Okay, so I don't know how this is really affecting it. This is really getting complicated now with this. -10 to 0, 40 to 50. So I don't even know it's how much this is going to interact with this when you're mixing it. But -10. So maybe what we can do is this. Let's first again give us a map here. I think that's the one we currently have, so I don't think anything's going to change. This is the map that we have. Okay, this is the map that we have. Nothing was altered. Now we'll change the height optimizations. Now, I mean, add it to the height optimizations and see if anything drastic happens. This is something I'll probably need to learn later when I get really in depth with my own maps, but I honestly don't think that much will change. Okay. Okay, yeah, because we're adding in the cave generation. Okay, caves are coming in. Which, honestly, I do not like. I don't like how caves do this. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, I didn't die. Yeah, like the way it kind of slices into the earth. I feel like there's just holes and gaps, and I prefer, and this one too, this especially, these long gashes, I don't like. I wonder where this cave's terrain is, and if I can change it. Caves terrain. Alright, but now I've gone through all that, and so much of it makes sense to me now. It makes a lot more sense. I have another hour or so. So let's go see if we can find these things. This Plains 1 Oak Dips, and also the Plains 1 Caves terrain. Let's find it. So we already did this one. Should we do the gorges or deep route? Let's do gorges and see if it's there. Because that's all that. Okay, so here's the terrain. It's going way over here to full terrain optimization. What? Foothills and crevices. We have foothills, large hills, base terrain, terrain inside crevices. So maybe can we find if any of these are being outputted as... That's the gorge, it says. Gorge base terrain. Gorge base terrain, inside crevices. Crevices. Plateaus. Terrain and plateaus. Plateau height modulation. Smaller plateaus. Full terrain optimization. Yeah, and then we have the Plains 1 created terrain as imported. I mean, it can't be in any one of these, right? Generative? Can't be generative. Samples. The way it imports it, because I can't imagine it knows how to import this density map unless it's set up to say like, oh, Plains 1, I'm going to go to the Plains 1 folder. So I go to the Plains 1 folder, and inside that I'm going to the caves terrain. I don't see a caves terrain. Which means it's not used. There is no Gen 2 caves terrain. All above ground stuff. I see. Okay, alright, well then let's go look at the other stuff. Alright, so if this is our mods, let's look at the universe. This is the world, default. Chunks? No. Resources? No. This is world gen. That would be not asset editor, right? No. It goes up even further, right? It would go up all the way to not saves, but install, release, package, game, latest, server, no, client, data, game. No. This is also wrong, right? Can't be G. Where's the assets? Where am I? It should be server. Why is it like this? Here, so we have game config files, so I took everything out. Hytale generator. Hytale generator, right? Biomes. Wait a second. Is this even World Gen V2? Have I been looking at just an example file from World Gen V1? This might be. I mean, that's fine. I really don't know which is which actually might make sense, except the mountains look way different. Like, none of this looks the same. Hytale generator. The Hytale generator file. Gosh, I cannot remember now. Where is the normal? Hytale generator, I think, is only the Hytale World Gen V2. I have to look this up now. I'm a little confused. I was hoping to be able to find the Plains 1 terrain. Oh, wait. Caves. There it is. Oh, wait, I found it. Okay. Alright, I'm still gonna look this up, even if it's wrong. I don't know. Right, am I already trying to open? I'm trying to open something. I'm going, cancel. Open. Biomes. No, what was it? What did I just look at? Hytale generator, right? Density. Plays 1, cave, terrain. Open. Okay. Snake ceilings, snake floors, snake walls, cavern ceilings. Okay. So this is how they do the caves. Alright. Let's see if I can do my first bit of editing that I really would like to do, which is not have these kind of slices in the world and have caves actually pop out of, like, I don't know how to even, I don't even know how to do this. So we're really gonna experiment here. I don't even know what this looks like too, with the snake floors and snake ceilings, snake walls and cavern ceilings. But we're importing the density too. Oh wait, cave snakes. Cave snakes. Okay, it's right here. These are the ceilings. Okay. Taking a 2D, again, a 2D simplex noise. Excuse me. We're going from -80 to 70. Oh, interesting. Okay. We're definitely not going to be or mapping that to anything above 0 probably, but this is just how they get the steepness of the caves. And then we're doing the walls here. So they don't even do 3D, a simplex 3D noise generator. Oh, this is all 2D. So they have 3 different maps that they're working through. That's interesting. They're mixing this with this constant density 1, 2. They also have the constant density, the max density. So they're taking them in. So here, this is a max for the floors, the ceilings. Okay, so they are taking ceilings and walls and mixing it to be within the constant density. So I wonder if we can just get rid of everything. Except this is not a whole terrain, right? This is only the bottom or the underground. So this is going to be a little bit harder to experiment with because I can't really see it. Of course, I can clip through the terrain, but yeah, we're going to only, or maybe it would be easier just to adjust the numbers and see what happens. Right? So again, this is ceiling. we're mixing it up with... How does it know which one's the gauge? And because this is walls, this is saying walls and ceilings. Oh, because these are snake ceilings versus cavern ceilings. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What if I just scale up the walls? If I scale up the walls, the okay, actually no, this is a good view of it. So basically, yeah, they've taken... I can kind of see what they're doing. They're taking a map here, so this you can kind of see the bottom. The bottom is this map here, and then they take another map. So sometimes you're gonna get these places where the two maps kind of overlap right here, like this, and you just get empty gaps because I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. That's fascinating they decided to do it like this though. Cavern ceilings. So let's say if we have walls and we scale up the walls, right? Meaning we're gonna get a or maybe we can lower them and get a noisier wall mix. I feel like I'm going to create more of these pinched areas, right? If I do this. If I do, let's do 25. Let's really see what can happen with this scaler. Like, it's always easy to go to extremes because then it's easy to notice what changes. So yeah, we're gonna go to snake walls. We're gonna increase that 25. We're gonna get a lot of pinched tunnels. No? Oh no. No. Okay. What happened here? What happened? All right, let's go back to 75. I'm just gonna wait for it to come to this area so I can see exactly what happens because this has lots of tunnels and I feel like there was a lot less, fewer tunnels than before. I mean, it completely altered it. I don't know if I really noticed a difference between more or less, actually, but it just really altered it. So, here's what I really would like to do. Oh, wait. I am not at place anymore. Spawn. This is where I am. This is where I should be. Oh my gosh, I traveled way outside. I don't even know if I changed anything then. I mean, it looks like I did though. But that was just... Oh, maybe I was just right there. But yeah, okay, let's go back to here. Let's change it. So this is still the cliff area. Let's go back and change it again one more time. Make sure that what I saw changing was accurate. Because this is still the viewport. I don't think it should only change stuff in the viewport. It does feel like it's adding so many more tunnels. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Absolute density with a normalizer. Snake walls. Because the absolute value, all it's going to do is um, make it so there's no negative values. It's all positive, right? All right, we're going to change it back though. This is the walls. And I can see why, you know, this is really hard to predict because there's 4 different noise maps going on, and their intersections are what's creating these tunnels, right? But the floors is importing cave snakes. Here is mountain cave snakes. I don't want that. Wait, what? Mountain cave snakes. Okay. So the ceilings and the floors are getting the same map. Oh no, this is exporting. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So this is exporting it as this. This is importing it. So yeah, but the ceilings and floors are getting the same map, which makes sense, right? Because you want them to be curving at the same right? Like if one map is like this, you need your other map to be exactly the same, just shift it down, because otherwise, yeah, it could be really weird. So the ceilings and the floors being the same makes perfect sense. However, they are maybe changing these. This is negative 90 and negative 80 to 60 to 70. Nope, that makes perfect sense. Again, so what they're doing is taking the same map and they're moving it down, right? So this is going from negative 90 to negative 80 and 60 to 70. As I just mentioned, it's just shifted by 10 units, right? 10 units. And then also they inverted it, right? If you create this inversion, then basically it's saying, well, from this point I want air, but then the other one is going to override it saying, oh, but that from here I want dirt, and so on and so forth. So it's creating a tunnel. It's creating a tunnel, and this will be the floors and the ceilings, which is all fine. That's all good. I'm fine with this. This all makes sense. The walls, though, is adding a third, so it's actually the same noise map, just shifted up and down to create those tunnels. In fact, if we get rid of everything and just did these floors and ceilings, it would be very easy to see. I don't think I'm going to, because I think I got that. I think I understand that. The walls now are going to be, we're going to be snaking around the walls, right? That's what's going to add this. So here we have, if we take a slice, right, of this, like if we turn it 90 degrees, we see this, right? And the wall, the noise map here is also going to, or actually, let's just do this, because this will be easy to see about how this will be easy to see on how it slices it. And we get another noise map, right? And it's going to make this kind of like curve here. This becomes our tunnel. Everything here and here is probably going to be filled up again with the snake walls, right? We mix it and we min it and we max it. Snake ceilings and walls. Snake. So we mix them. This is actually only going from solid blocks anyway, right? So we have a bunch of solid blocks. We're taking oh, we're just making it so that we don't have these kinds of curves, right? The curves are more vertical. That's what this power function is going to be doing, is making it more vertical. And then we're doing the ceilings. So basically, we don't have a bottom right now. We have something like this for the thing. Then we're taking the minimum between this and the cavern ceilings. So cavern ceilings. So right now we're ending up with, let's see if I can make a kind of like a 3D map of what I think is currently happening underground. So if we have like a tunnel, so let's say we have this, and this is kind of going down. I wonder if I can do this. Going down. We have another tunnel. There's the height and the sides of the walls, right? And these, so everything underneath is kind of, it is defined, but I'm going to say it's undefined. And then we're going to have cavern ceilings, which is going to be another map. There we go. Here's another map. And you're going to go from -60 to -10. And it's all going to be air. All going to be air. Except some point you're changing to dirt. So this is like the opposite of what we're doing above ground because we're below ground. So we're going to have air below us in order to create these kind of bubbles of these pockets of walkable areas. And then above it, we're going to have dirt. And here it just looks like it's a normal thing. So it actually would look very similar to like a hilly part above ground. So imagine this being dirt and air, all right, just like how we have above ground. But now what we're doing is that we're reversing it. We're going to put air below us and dirt above us. And so we're getting these kind of, and then we're shifting it down -60 to -10. So essentially you're creating this kind of bumpy, hilly terrain, but imagine looking up at it from a ceiling, right? That's why it's our cavern ceilings. This is our ceilings. This is what we see above. Okay, got it. And then we have this, and now we're going to do a minimum. What that means is anywhere you're basically just creating this reversed hilly map, okay? But sometimes you might have these tunnels. All right, so you're creating this right here. Let's see if I can go down. So if I can get a good view of this, imagine you're creating this underground hilly map, but everything above it is dirt and everything below it is going to be air. Oops. Okay, but now we're taking the minimum versus these snake walls. These snake walls, these ceilings, are also they're also going to be going through this area like this. So we have another map. This map is very similar to the cavern ceilings, but the walls, what they do is add everything dirt. So basically you're going to have this plus some tunnels going around here, but now everything outside of it, everything below it, all this stuff is all being turned to dirt. Because you're also taking the minimum of it. So you're replacing you're taking everything and moving it to dirt. However, like let's say you have a tunnel right here, because we don't have a bottom yet, because we haven't worked in our snake floors. All of this is still going to be empty air all the way down to bedrock. So you're still getting kind of this huge air gaps underneath. We don't have our floor. And that's where the floor comes in. right? Because you're taking the minimum between these two, and then you're gonna add a floor, and then you're gonna take the minimum, or the maximum. I mean, yes, the maximum between the two, because you want to add that dirt. Remember, positive numbers are dirt, so you're gonna take the max between the two. But the snake floors are gonna be shifted down, just like we said before. It's gonna be shifted down here, so that way we have air for the tunnels. Okay, okay. Um, Again, you're doing this mixed density. I think you're just adding noise to it, right? That's what we discovered or understood with the cliffs. We're adding some noise. The noise we're adding is going to be, I'm assuming, so actually, without this, if we just do, oops, I don't want to delete it though. That would be bad. I want to make sure I kind of remember what's here. We're just going to do the max, or we're not going to mix it with any of this. We're going to see what happens now. This is going to be very interesting, I think. What? Nothing happened? Are you telling me all of this mixing added nothing to it? Alright, I'm going to have to now do some more experiments. I want to keep that off. I want to just do... Let's see if I was right about that, though, because I realized I could just do that. I can add that. Let's just... Don't worry about the floors. Let's just put it in here. Okay, this was going to the max, right? Because, yeah, this would add the floors. If we don't do floors, we should get emptiness everywhere. Yeah. As I mentioned. Where does this cut off at though? This is interesting. This is 108. So it's actually quite a bit higher than I thought. I thought it wouldn't go above 100. But it did. Okay. But yeah, we're getting this little bumpiness like I said, like I imagined. And now we're going to add the flooring back. But this time it's just going to be these two. Oops. These two. We're not going to be doing any of the mixing of these. I mean, I really don't understand why this didn't make a difference. This is adding the bottom, which is going to be taking some of these curves, right? Because we have the cavern density and then the snake tunnel density. So the snake tunnel density, that's the one we're doing, and we're just shifting it down 10 units. Where they where they cross, we'll have dirt. Getting rid of all that. Okay. Alright, let's see again. Let's see if this does anything at all. I'm going to put that back with the mixed density, putting that there. We're going to hit save. I don't see any changes. Maybe this terrain generator just doesn't use this. Or it says from here to here. No, wait. It says from -90 to -80 is going to be dirt. From -80 to 50, it's just a flat dirt. And then 50 to 60 is dirt again. So it creates... But why would you need... why is that being done? What's the purpose of this? Negative 90 to negative 80. We're turning it all to dirt. Then negative 80 to 50. It's nothing. But 0 to 0, I mean, 0 is still is a value for dirt, or a solid block. I keep saying dirt, solid, whatever. It's going to be solid block, and then from 50 to 60, it's going back up to solid. So I'm a little confused at what this is supposed to be doing. We're just adding, but it's mixing, right? Is this supposed to be the putting back some dirt, taking away some air? But I don't see it changing anything at all. So I don't quite get it. Don't quite get it. All right. Map tiles river. Biome map portals. Oh, is that the hub? Is that what this is? The hub, maybe? But map tiles river, that's interesting. How did that work? So it has tiles. So there are tiles. Single instance, map tiles, Y override. And this creates the rivers. And it creates biome tiles. What? I need to understand how this works. Oh, goodness. Does changing the biome it's in affect the rivers? That's something that is super important that I really need to understand, because I've been talking about before, although of course that wasn't in the streams that I have anymore because I hid them, but in the previous streams I wanted to know if I could have the Y level of the river change according to the biome it's in. I want the river to like be going downstream, right? That I want it to actually follow gravity. That it starts in the mountains somewhere at a high Y level, and every single time you're moving down in Y level for a biome, going from like mountains to hills to plains to the shore, that it starts at like Y level 180, and then it goes to 140 in the hills and 120 in the plains and 100 at the shore, and it meets the ocean there. That is really what I would like to see. Does that do this here? Biome tiles? Like, can I figure that out here? Imported positions, world biome cells. There you go. Like this imported position, so it knows where in the world it is. I can't imagine it knows the exact XY coordinate or XZ coordinate. That's not what it does, right? It's probably like just trying to figure out which biome it's in. Like if I'm in hills, or it determine if I'm in hills, if I'm in XYZ. All right, where am I? Which biome am I in? Position, cell, noise, density, 460. Simple. I mean, this is cool. I really would like to learn this. Importing from another density asset caused a defect for a few select individuals. Copy, paste the river setup for now. Okay, so that's like a comment from one dev to another. That's pretty cool. That's pretty fun to see, to read. That makes me feel like I'm part of the dev, but I'm not, of course. And I didn't even make anything today. I'm just learning, and it's fun to learn, and I'm grateful, but at the same time, I just want to make something. I wish I could have the things I see in my head come out here, but that takes time. It takes time. Graphs. What is an example graph? What is the example graph? edges, world graph provider. Okay, I don't know what that is, don't know what it does. Custom currency, concurrency, buffer capacity, target view distance, 512. 512? Can I change that? Block masks, trees, 1. Biomes, assignments. River trees, river tree birch. Alright. We're almost gonna end the stream here. But let's do have some fun before we end it, yeah? Let's actually see some stuff here. Oh, come on, there's deep root. Yeah, okay. Alright, so let's go open. Let's look at the ones we're using, right? We're using the biomes, plains, one, oak experiment, or doing experiments so on it. So that way we can actually see what's going on. Oh yeah, and I can actually put the pillars back too. I didn't put the pillars back. These pillars, I don't know if I like this. I mean, I kind of do, but I also kind of don't, because basically what it's doing is that it's adding a bunch of what should be involved in the terrain generation, but it's adding it to these. However, wait, why didn't it pop up? There it goes. It's just really slow. However, these kinds of prefabs that are being imported into the land is super important, and I really want to learn more about this too, because what I want to do is things like this. Let's say you have a biome like this and a very rare pink tree grows, so you would have in your prop section a call to make some pink trees, but they're super rare, they don't spawn very much. However, if in the biome there's 3 of them that spawn, so let's say you're exploring, right, and you count, you find like, oh, here's one, here's another, oh, here's a third one, oh my gosh, this is it. In the center of those 3, right, the midpoint between all 3, I don't know how, I forget the term for it, I'm supposed to be a math teacher, right, but anyway, the midpoint of the triangle they make, you'll find a dungeon, right? The dungeon's buried deep underground. You won't see it normally. I want to know how to do that. So, like adding very specific trees, like you can do with these boulder patches, like the same thing. These kind of pillars. Taking these pillars and saying like, all right, what's the middle of these 3? Can I do that? Can I do that? Right. First, you need a couple things, I think. Right. First, you need to know. If there's 3 of them that even spawn, which I don't even know how to do. The next thing that you would need to look at is finding the midpoint between all of them. That I think you could do. You might be able to like take this 2D mesh, the positions of it, like this is just a like a grid, right? It's just creating a grid right here. Is that, can I see if I can look at these? Like, there's 3 here. Oh, no, there's a few here. Yeah, look at this grid. So we have 1, 2. Yeah, they're basically on a grid, and you can see the jitter. So if I do jitter of 0, I bet they're all gonna line up really, really nicely on this grid point. On what's it called? Like a line. So it's gonna be like what here, 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 right? It's going to be very, very obvious of where they are. This one, oh no, oh no, 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 okay. They're just stacked now. Wait, what happened? So a jitter of 0.4 means that there's 4 of them being produced here, it looks like. Like there's 4 of these and they're just being staggered out a little bit offset off this midpoint. Or some of them are being placed on top of each other. No. No. No, that's not what happened at all. I have no idea now. I wonder what the jitter means. Scale of X, Y, and Z. Let's scale it up. Let's scale the X factor by double. I don't really know. Alright. I don't think it makes too much of a difference, though. Of what's happening here. Essentially, it's just a 2D position, a mesh. So basically like a grid, and it's placing these things, these prefabs onto that grid. Is what I'm getting at. This position, though, actually, so there was only a mesh point generator, huh? Yeah, I'll look that up later. Anyway, so we have that. I really, really want to know if there's a way. Here, what is this? Boulder patches, right? It has more stuff here. Delimiters. I need to know what the delimiters are. Position, cell noise, density. This is very similar to like the rivers, because they were looking at tiles. They also had a position, cell noise, density. Max distance. So is that positioning these somewhere? Let's lower that max distance to like 1. Are we going to be just absolutely covered in boulders now? So there's going to be boulders everywhere? No. Boulders are disappearing. Interesting. Oh wait, if I zoom in, okay, if I get closer, they load up. And the chunks load. Alright. So yeah, a lot of boulders disappeared. Why? Alright, let's go the opposite. Let's double it. Let's double the max distance. That's the size of the cell. I see. That's the size of how big these things are. Got it. Got it. Okay. Well, now I understand. These are the cell size. So not distance, but radius or size of the actual cell. So it's not so much, yeah. Because it's going to decrease these now to be much smaller. Now it's 45. You see, now it's 90. Now it's much smaller at 45. I understand that. Okay. The positions are being imported as the forest rings, huh? That's interesting. So it's like creating these positions using the same function as these forest rings. It's putting them on a noise map, and it's throwing them on the grid. Okay. Inverter, cache, override, normalizer. -1, 10.7y. Oh, so that way it doesn't go up too high? Okay, okay. So it's also putting them, making sure they're within a certain range, right? You don't want them too tall, too high above. Let's see what happens if we don't. Let's see what happens if we just do, this is the minimum, right? Wait a second. All right. I want to make it go higher. How can I make it go higher? Main is data point 1 to point 3. This is the field. Oh wait, there's two things on the position here. What's the other position? Encounters? Wait, what? The boulder patches has encounters? No, 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 no. No, no, no. Okay, okay, okay. That just happened to go through that line. But this is completely different. Alright. Oops. So that's these, that's pillars. Okay. There we go. Yeah, there's only these functions, or this build functions for the position. We have my override, normalizer, boulder patches, here's ink, yep. I mean, it only does it a little bit, right? It goes from negative 0.1 to negative 0.7, but let's just see what happens if we do negative 1. Does this just make it go underground? What does it actually do? I think I took away some of them. Let's put it back to negative 0.7. Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly how some of these numbers, what they do. But I really need to... Oh, I wish I could learn that first before I start building things. I would love to be able to know if I could do what I want to do, which is create like specifically a random number of trees in a biome. Putting one to three of these trees in the biome, and if there is 3, then do this thing as well. I feel like there could be some kind of way just to do it with these functions. I feel like there is, but I'm just unsure of how, because I need to learn what all these do first. Alright, let's see what else. Is there anything I would like to do? Do we want steeper cliffs? I mean, I feel like I know how to do that now. Like, I could make the cliffs a little bit taller. Kind of easily, right? Now that I see the cliffs. 1 to 30, 10 to... Let's just do... 10 to 40, right? But we're changing the min, right? So actually, I don't think we need to change the min there. The min here is this one. Yeah, this needs to go up, right? Yeah, this needs to go up. If I do 50 here, then what that's going to do is raise all of these up. This hill will get larger, all these hills will get larger, and we'll have steeper cliffs, or bigger cliffs. There you go, bigger cliffs. Oh, look at that, that's interesting. And this is another reason why I don't really care for the pillars being prepads. you put the prefab on this block, and this block is okay, but now it's carefully being, like, it's just being put on top of this place where, honestly, I don't think it should be. But yeah, interesting. Yep, alright, so create that height, you can make the cliffs bigger. How do I take the minimum here, right? So the minimum, I can make it lower as well. So the minimum is the Little Hills, I think. And we can make it go to -10 if we wanted. However, it's also taking the minimum, the base. This base has to go to -10 as well. Then we can do that, and all of this will be lowered. So a steeper gradient at all of the low points, basically. The tops aren't even going to be touched. It's just taking all this and making it lower. See, all these cliffs stay the same. Yeah, I think I got it. I think I understand. This is so much fun. Now, though, altering it is one thing, right? Now I actually need to figure out how to use it and make it... These boulders need to be moved. Like this is... shouldn't be here. I wonder how you can check for this, because this is not correct. Or maybe... Ooh, okay. Can I do that? Let's see if I can do that. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a prefab, so you have boulder patches. I don't know if those are the boulder patches, though, are they? It might be. What's that Y value that it's giving them? Also the pillars. Maybe I can mess with the pillars? No. Because of this one over here, right? Can I fix this? How can I fix this one? Scale Y. Why don't you scale the Y? What if I do 0 scale? Oh, then it can't be 0, huh? Just 1? Just 1 then. 1. Nothing's changing. Okay. So it looks like the Y doesn't do anything. Because I guess it makes sense. We're more or less trying to figure out the position on the XZ axis, not the Y axis. But it kind of matters because look at this. Why is it being placed on top of there like that, you know? Alright. And yeah, there's nothing to determine eligibility, is there? Let's change the jitter to much higher, like 0.8. Does that matter at all? 0.8, it doesn't like that? It's way too high? What's the number supposed to be? Okay. I'll need to look these up and see what the parameters do. Oh, interesting. Are these boulders with the pillars? Oh my gosh, is that... It can't be, right? Let's just delete the pillars again, see what happens. They are. Oh, wow. Okay. So all of these smaller boulders, so these are part of the okay, so boulder patches and these pillars both have these white looking boulder things. So that's changes up the placement of these things. Got it. I mean, I guess when you're working with your own prefabs, you know what's in them, what's not, and how to place them. And when you are doing things like me, which are experimenting and figuring these things out, then you're not going to know that these pillars also had boulders. Let's put that back in the props. Let's just change it back to the 0.4 as we need, and change it there. Okay. I mean, I think I'm done with this section. I want to now open up mountains. I want to play with the mountains now. And then also I want to change this to plains one oak, and we should probably also save this as a mountains experiment as well, so we don't mess with the original one. Save as, and now we're going to no, Jason, the default, we're going to change it to mountains. This. Okay. Saved it. There we go. Here's the mountains coming. And yeah, this has to be World Gen V2 because there are no mountain biomes in Zone 1 like this. There's nothing like this in there. Okay. Yeah, let's play with these a little bit too. But I think I'll do this more on Thursday because, well, I'm a little busy. I need to finish some work, and then I need to go out today. So I probably need to end this stream. Unfortunately, only like what 2-3 hours, which is a good amount. It's not horrible, but I definitely want to play with these things, and I really would like to combine these with planes, and I want to see if I can make a good world like that with those two plains and mountains, and we'll go from there. Um, and before I start making my own custom biomes and worlds. All right, but yeah, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be fun to experiment. All right, well, thank you all for joining. On Thursday, we're gonna be looking at the mountains. We're gonna be messing with them. Um, I did mess with them before in my previous streams that I have now hidden. So I do know a little bit of what's going on here. And we're just going to experiment more. I want to make them taller or bigger, maybe more pronounced, probably like up the scaler of this. Because right now I think, actually no, this one is still pretty tall, right? It's still, yeah, we're at 220, so we're not at world height. And I think what they want to do with this is not make it up to world height, because the zone 3 and maybe even zone 4 with their volcanoes should be the ones with super tall mountains that really um are I don't know, memorable for that. That's what people think of when they think of zone 3 or zone 4, is like all these massive mountains exist there, while zone 1, they're big, but from top to bottom, right, the bottom of the biome to there, it's only 100, not even 100. And so like they're still mountainous, right? You can still see them mountainous, and it still feels pretty good. Still feels pretty cool, but it's not like, I don't know what the right word is. It's not going to make you feel like, wow, look at these massive mountains. It's more of like, whoa, this is pretty. All right, that's the first thought. And I kind of want to change. I kind of want to experiment with this because, again, this is what I want to do. Um, so, and I also need to figure out exactly how to invoke that emotion of super big mountains because the world height is only 320, right? So like literally when you only have mountains that are 100 blocks tall like this, like I can climb up to the very top and it's less than a minute, right? Not even a minute, especially in Hytale where you can mantle blocks that are 3 tall, right? Like now I'm up here. Like doesn't feel that impressive. These mountains don't feel, I don't know, super impressive. Um, and so, and even when they're like 300 blocks tall, right? In my own, when I generated my own biomes, not altering these files, my mountains were like 300 blocks tall. No, they weren't. They went up to world height, but I started about 140, so really they were only about 200 blocks tall. So even 200 blocks, right, going from 100 to 200, doesn't feel super impressive. Um, because again, it only takes instead of 1 minute, 2 minutes to get up there. 300 block tall ones probably won't be that much different. So you're never unless you really change world height, unless they give us the ability to go up to 1,000 blocks. And then it will take 5-6 minutes to traverse up there. That will feel way different, right? If it takes you almost 10 minutes to traverse up a mountain, that is significant. That will feel big. Um, but 1 minute, 40 seconds to a minute is not great. And if that's all that will ever happen, I'll have to learn to deal with that. I'll still have to create impressive vistas within those constraints. And one way of doing it, what I've figured out, what I want to try to experiment with. Let's first go here. I'm going to first point something out here with this. Wait, where is? All right, oh, here we are. This is what I did. Like, this is the viewport. So one thing here, when you're out here closer to like what 109 we're at, Y level 109 or 100 at base, when you come up here now, you'll see something large like this. Of course, it's not going to look like this because the viewport is cutting it off right here, so you just see this sheer cliff. That's obviously not going to happen. What you're going to have is a gradual increase of height. First, ideally, you'll go up like a slight incline up hills, and then it'll get steeper and steeper as you go up the mountain. That's what most mountains do in real life. Some of them are really steep. They have a crazy increase. Basically like cliffs. They go up in elevation really fast, but a lot of times it'll be a slow incline, and then it will go up faster and faster. But what we can do is like a mountain's like this tall could feel taller, right? This is what I was talking about before when you're working within the constraints, is if you put a smaller mountain in front of it. So you do something like this, right? You first create a mountain. First you make some nice mountains here, okay? Almost look like waves, but hey, cancel, don't save that. Here like this, right? You make some mountains in front, and then you're gonna have some like hills connecting them or something. I don't know. You'll create some mountains, and this is also from the view of the plains, right? You're at the bottom here. You're here at the bottom of before you even get to the mountains. You see these mountains, and then you see larger mountains behind it, right? This kind of vista, this kind of small to big mountains, even if the mountains behind it aren't truly big, you're still getting that forced perspective, right? You're almost doing what Disney does or what other theme parks do when they create these places, these environments to invoke emotion. you're gonna have to manipulate the players. You're gonna have to say like, oh, here's a mountain. It's gonna be, you know, small, but then the mountain behind that would look bigger. Of course, again, when you're playing the game, it's only gonna take you a minute to get up to the mountain and to the top, so it's not still gonna be super impressive, but it will hopefully feel impressive. It will look cool. Um, but yeah, that's what hopefully we can do Thursday. I want to do all that Thursday. I want to first mess with these mountains, see if I can figure out their files here with all this stuff. I to understand them better. It looks like it'll be okay, other than this giant curve here, this manual curve that we have there for the mapper. I think all that's doing, oops, is making. I think it's actually these right here. Uh, Maybe not. Yeah, peaks remap, right? So this one right here, this peaks remap. Um, these are the peaks, yeah. So see all these white things right here, these peaks? Yeah, that's what this curve mapper is creating here. I think what all they're trying to do is make it so that it goes. Oh wait, oh that's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to I'll mess with these. I'll mess with it. Um, we'll see how it is. It just looks really cool though. I like how they have the several different noise maps sliced on top of each other. How it has these things going up the curve. I think it's just adding them on top of to each other, right? It's taking the max between this map and this map, and then it's just taking this plus this. Is it? Actually, maybe not, because it wouldn't disappear like this then, right? It wouldn't go here, disappear, come back, disappear, come back. So it is definitely just taking two noise maps and then superimposing them onto each other, taking the max. But yeah, anyway, all right. Let's talk about that Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed my experiments and my own I don't know, learning of how these things work. And hopefully, if you do, you can leave some comments. And if you know more, you can teach me, please. Like, leave comments about what you know of how these things work, because I want to move through this quickly so I can start making my own, right? That's the whole point. Unfortunately, I do feel a bit of FOMO because some people appear to be making pretty cool things already. Nothing as polished as this though, and that's what gives me hope, is that this polish that the Hytale devs have made, because they, you know, these are their tools and they know how they work. They can make things like this. I haven't seen anyone make anything really interesting like this yet, which makes me feel like a lot of people are just messing with the numbers, you know, putting a few things down and then seeing how they go together. But I don't want to talk bad about other people anyway either. Maybe that's what they wanted to do in their biome. But I really feel like the true potential of World Gen V2 has not been unlocked yet by the community. And I'm hoping I can do that. Of course, I'm not going to, you know, talk myself up right now. I can't do this full time, and there are people probably trying to do this full time, and I'm sure they'll beat me to it, and I'm sure there'll be cool things out there before I can get anything done. That's just reality. And yeah, regardless, you know, like the whole point of this though for me is just to make fun things. So I have worlds in my head. I have things I want to make. I want to put them down into Hytale, and this is the process of me doing that. So regardless of what other people make, I still would like to enjoy it and build my own stuff. So yeah, we'll come back to this on Thursday, learn more, and then maybe starting next week we can try to start building these biomes from scratch. However, I don't know if I can do it from scratch because I still don't understand how any of the prop system works. Because so the basic biome that I had here, this one that I've been altering, this basic biome, like I've been doing all this, and yet I added I added some of these, where is it? Some of these props, right? The props here, which are way down here for grasses, oak trees. I just copy pasted this. I just copy and pasted this function. I'm not calling it a function. I think it's a function into my own plains one, mountains, trees. Like, why is that not working? I don't understand why that's not working, because, oops, this right here, this imported function, right, this is imported assignment. This is how I'm assuming it's working. Imported assignment. So you go here, you look at this. This is assignments. This is the plains one. Mountains, oak, right? Mountains, trees. Okay, here we go. Mountains, trees, open. Right, and then it does this. It does all this stuff. You know, it has small trees and large trees. These are just the prefabs. It's just loading them up. And I don't understand why mine isn't working. Like, it's not. It shouldn't be funky. It doesn't make sense why it doesn't work, because they're both in the biomes folder. They're both here. Like, this one is just one folder up. It doesn't have a subfolder, but it shouldn't matter. Like, because I don't have positions? Nah. Yeah, I don't have positions. Maybe that's the whole problem. I don't okay, sure. I'll look at that again later. And we'll figure out how this is supposed to work. But oops. I wanted to delete all of that. This is the whole thing that needs to be gone. Alright. But yeah, so we'll take a look at the basic one, but I think I'll do that next week. Thursday, we're just going to look at this. We're going to look at the mountains. Because I want to see how I can make more complicated features like this, like having several of these noise maps overlapping in neat and fun ways. That's really what I want to learn and discover. And then again, how biomes transfer from one to the next. So having a plains biome next to the mountains biome, and how they interact with each other on their border, and then making those, what's it called? Those small to big mountains, right? This right here, this is what I want to figure out how to do, because they do have a full function. Again, before I leave, I know I've been saying goodbye for like 10 minutes now, but that's how this works sometimes, right? They have a thing, where is it? I'll just put it here. Where is it? Oh, okay. Look, gradient density and position 3D density are deprecated. Oh, interesting. Okay, a lot of these are deprecated. It looks like cache 2D density. Okay, sure. Did they add some more too? But anyway. Wait. Is this not... I can't see this one? Oh no. Why? It was actually the very last one. This is awful. Here, let's see. Okay. Distance to biome edge, right? Distance to biome edge. This right here should, in theory, this is what I'm hoping to learn, should in theory allow me to make something like this, where I have small to big mountains. This should allow me to change the height of these. Anyway, alright, that's what I want to figure out on Thursday, and then we'll start experimenting next week, making my own biomes. Okay, thank you. I hope you all enjoyed it, hope you all had fun, and I will see you on Thursday.